Welcome to another edition of your Christian News Connection. And are you ready? Oh my goodness. Our guest today is Carrie Miletich, and she's involved with Feed My Sheep. Carrie, thank you for giving us some of your time. Got to ask you the question. God called you. Give us a little bit of background of Feed My Sheep ministry. How'd this all start?
Okay, well, my name's Carrie, and I am the founder and CEO of Feed My Sheep outreach that we are in downtown Canton. And the outreach came because I personally was looking for a missions field to go into, and I thought I would need a passport to do that, to leave the United States to do that. And one morning the Lord led me to get my passport. Money was donated to me, and I was down at the library waiting on them to open. And as I stood there, it was a cold morning because my birthday's in October, so the end of October, and I was waiting. And I just noticed a lot of the crowd were without mittens and hats and just certain things, no coats. It was definitely chilly, and the Lord definitely leaned on me. I was there at the right time, and he kept saying on my heart, look up, Carrie. You need to look, because I was really self-centered. I was all excited about getting a passport, and I was going to go to another country, and I was going to spread the gospel. And there I stood, and I finally looked up, and when I looked up, everything changed from that minute on. So I think this November will be 3 years. And the first time I went down, it was a post on Facebook that said, hey, I'm going to take a pot of coffee and 8 cups. If anybody wants to go sit in the back of the van with me and just hand out some hot coffee and some hats and mittens, you're more than invited. And it definitely says in the post it's a one-time thing. And it's never stopped since. So we went from gradually, we went from 8 cups of coffee to like some warm sandwiches, and then supplies sort of built it up. We had mittens and scarves in the van. We worked out of my van for like a year and a half, and then it became so much that we had to move into a different parking lot other than the downtown library, because then we had people coming down and joining us, and we would have a van of coats and a van of boots and then the van of food. And so we became like a little caravan. And we were actually spotted by another downtown church, Crossroads United Methodist Church, and they had watched us grow and change, and just we have a great influence downtown. And they approached us and asked us if we wanted to move indoors. And so this January the 11th was the first time we ever served indoors out of the elements. And in 2 weeks, the pandemic came, so we actually moved right back outside. So what the Lord taught us in all of that was he actually just, as we grew from 8 cups of coffee through the weather, we were ready and prepared to go back outside when nobody else could, because we were definitely one of the only 2 that fed continuously downtown during the pandemic. And we did to-go lunches, and we didn't turn anybody away. And we were really feeding like 150 people every Saturday. So we definitely have an influence, and that's where we are now. So now we are a group of volunteers that go downtown every Saturday, and we just use food as a way to tear down walls and open communication so that the gospel can be spread to people that are in need.
What a oh my goodness, that is fast. How God just, you were being obedient, standing in line. You thought you're going to go overseas, and God was saying, no, Carrie, I want you here. I want you here in the Canton area. This is where I want you. That's amazing. Well, let's talk about your Warm Heart, your 5th annual sock drive. It's underway and through December 23rd. Talk about that.
Okay, so actually the sock drive is in the memory of my mother. Passed away, and I just couldn't find anything to fill the time. And so as it got cold out, I was working with a program called Jesus Said out of Akron, and we were sort of just volunteering there and just learning about how to help people that didn't have and just the needy. And as we were doing that, we noticed that socks were just the number one requested item. And, you see people in their bare feet in the snow and with no shoes on, and it really is real. And so after you see that for a winter, the second winter rolled around, and we decided to, because warm hearts came first before Feed My Sheep. So really the socks at that time were going to Jesus Said in Akron. And like our numbers have really grown. Like the first year was 2015, we had 1,689 pair. And then by the second year, we had 2,450 pair. and then third year was 4,500 pair, and then the fourth year was 4,400. That doesn't sound like a lot, but 4,000 pair of socks from last year, and we just finished using the socks that were donated last year like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, my.
So it's almost perfect timing. The Lord just gets us almost to the bottom of the box, and then the sock drive comes back around. And we do it early. There is Socktober, and a lot of the nationwide is pushed for socks. But we really just feel like that September month when everybody's shopping for school supplies and going through their doors for school, because we do accept gently used, clean socks too. And so we're feeling like a lot of socks we're not getting in that month when everybody else was shopping and getting new. They were going through their doors, and then they didn't know what to do with those. And so we almost get 1,000 pair of socks just in the month of September.
Wow.
Yeah, and then October rolls around, and the nation does theirs. And then we continue till Christmas Eve, because we do an outreach on Christmas morning, and that morning we make sure that anybody that comes out Christmas morning gets 6 pair of brand new socks.
That's incredible.
So, yeah.
Okay, if they need information, if they want to make a donation or they want to give, whatever they have to do, tell us what to do.
Okay, so they need to go to Warm Feet, Warm Heart on Facebook. And that's one of the things people need to realize is that is our only avenue of output, because there's no cost to it. There's no overhead to us. We've never printed a piece of paper. It's all done by technology. I'd like to thank Bev Keller in Sugar Creek, because she has made the flyer all 5 years, which is dedication to me, because I don't have that technology, and God had brought her into my life, and her flyer is the only piece of information we've ever had. So they find the flyer, but really it just says, we take new and gently used socks from September 1st to December 31st. They can drop them at Jackson Friends Church on Portage in Canton. We also have a Tuscarawas County site. We have Naturally Right Chiropractic Care on Ray Avenue. There's a box there. And then they can also, a lot of people at this time with things going on, they just feel better shipping them. So we do 2117 Oak Avenue Southeast, Massillon, Ohio. It's 44646. And if anybody has any questions, they can always call me. My name is Carrie. My number is 330-933-6078. Okay. We do get cash donations. We prefer socks, because that way it's funny how people shop for deals. And
Right.
I do post a lot on Facebook so they can follow the numbers and see where the sales are. If they're waiting, if Acme has a really big sale, my girls will call and say, hey, and I get notifications. So if they're waiting for the best bang for their buck to buy the most socks, that's the way. But I want to challenge them that I already have a shipment that has come from Texas, which was like my farthest ever. It beat last year's distance by almost 1,000 miles. So we get them from all over. And that girl had just seen the post on somebody else's post, and God leaned on her heart to send us socks here in Ohio. So,
well, are you always looking for volunteers?
Well, volunteers, yeah, they just need to call me. We do outreach from 7 to 9 a.m. downtown Canton at the Crossroads United Methodist every Saturday. But I look for all kinds of volunteers. We need shoppers, people to look for deals for food. Okay. We take, you got a ham left over from last year's Christmas prize you didn't use. And it's been froze. And then we have people that cook food, and we have people that come down. Yeah. We can always use people to come down and just commune. It's really got a nice feel downtown, and we know their names, and we're changing. We're making God's light is shining, and that really was part of him talking in my sleep last night. Was the Lord is just every little piece of light. If people understood, if all the little lights came together, how big the light would really be.
I got to ask you this. If you can remember, I don't want to put you on the spot. Can you remember, I call them a glory story, that you've been doing this for 3 years, and maybe somebody just came up to you and said, I want to thank you for helping me out. No names, have you had an individual or maybe a family came up and said, thank you?
Oh yeah, I actually am getting ready to do a thing at church, and we've impacted 10 families in the community during the pandemic. We've either helped them set up household or got them enough food and appliances till the next need could be met, or just getting them linked with people and places. But we have a gentleman that we've known almost 2.5 years, and he's finally off the streets in an apartment, and we got him a crock pot and silverware, and just those little things, like him saying, hey, I need a crock pot, and me saying, hey, somebody dropped on one off Thursday, and it's really just God and you, for you to be able to come back and look at him and go, look, God knows what you need.
Amen.
He hears your prayers.
That's
and,
great.
and it changes them when they know that he really does hear them. And so it's good for them to feel that
That's
love.
good. Okay, before we go, quickly, if you can, again, if you need volunteers, what you want to give the information, how they get in touch with you?
Yeah, just call me on my number, 330-933-6078, or they can get on Facebook, the Feed My Sheep Outreach page, and messenger through there. And I do a lot of messenger through there because people are just, not all over the county. So any questions or anything, that's all I have to do.
Carrie, it's amazing. There you were 3 years ago. You felt God calling you to go overseas. A lot of people think that. But as you're saying,
I really did think that.
Yeah.
I kept thinking, if I'm going to be a missionary, I need a field to go. And I was still doing Jesus Said in Akron every week and watching them feed 150 people and doing my thing up there thinking, I need to go somewhere else and make a change.
Great.
And can I be honest? I actually did get to leave the country for my first trip, for my first missions trip after, I think it was 2 years ago. And, it changed my life, but I still came home and was still just, this is my field. I'm called to downtown Canton. So,
well, God is using you in a mighty way. All right. How can we as a body pray not only for you, but for Feed My Sheep ministry?
Just to watch our page and watch what project. We're working on showers now. There's no showers for the people that cycle through downtown, and no laundry facility. That's our biggest project right now, and we're about halfway through our goal, and they can sort of pick up on that. Just pray for guidance, that the Lord guides us where he really wants us, and that he keeps us safe, because it is a little dangerous out there. Even my people come down on Saturday, I just say, we always just need a prayer of safety for all of us involved. The people that come to find us and the people that come down to volunteer for us. Both ways. Prayer is just everything we could use.
Amen. And the Warm Hearts, the sock drive, that still goes on, and they have several locations, right? You want to mention those one more time?
I've got Jackson Friends Church on Portage in Canton, or Massillon, and I've got Naturally Right Chiropractic Care here in Dover, New Philly, Ohio, and then my home address is 2117 Oak Avenue Southeast, Massillon. It's 44646. And any questions, they can call 330-933-6078.
Boy, you put it right out there, because you've been called to do this, and I really appreciate you giving us some of your time, Carrie, and blessings to you. And thank you for all you do.
Well, thank you, and thank you for blessing us with the time to put the word out. I appreciate that.